Time to go qualifying for round 2 of the F1 Academy. Welcome everyone to the streets of Jeddah here in Saudi Arabia. We began our journey for season 3 of F1 Academy at a brand new venue at China and the Shanghai International Circuit. But now we return to where F1 Academy began its journey full time with the F1 Support Series last year. 27 turns around this Jeddah Corniche circuit for the drivers to get up to speed with in this qualifying session. They've had some testing here, they've had practice here, and now it's time to go and set some laps for qualifying. A new format for those of you who are joining us for the first time in this qualifying session. The top 8 will be reversed for race 1 tomorrow, and then they will start as they qualify for race 2. Well, here to call you through all the action, we have someone who competed in this very qualifying session, Carrie Schreiner. We'll hear from her in just a while, but also to call you through the action, myself, Chris McCarthy, and alongside me, Alice Parr.
Great to be back, and great for F1 Academy to be back as well, and also great to see Nina Gademan going out in this session, who suffered a crash when she was testing here a couple of weeks ago. A lot of damage to the car. She also hurt her back. We were told that she was struggling with a lot of pain in her back during free practice, but has managed to sneak off back to the hotel, because of course they were out at 2 o'clock local time earlier on today. It's now 9:30 their local time, and got a bit of rest, so hopefully she'll be able to last out the session. All drivers going out on a brand new set of slick tyres by the looks of it as well.
It was Maya Verk who was fastest earlier, from Alicia Palmowski, Dorian Pan, Chloe Chambers, Leah Block, 2:05.357. Interesting to see that Campos Racing, Alice, have decided to hold fire in pit lane. Happy birthday to Rafaela Ferreira, turning 20 years old today as well. We pick her up in the Racing Bulls car. Holding back in pit lane, is this a case of just looking to get some space on track?
I would say so. I couldn't quite catch what end of the pit lane that they are on, and I've noticed as well they are not on a brand new set of slicks. And actually, I don't think Dorian was on a brand new one as well. They get 3 sets of slicks for the entire weekend. They have to start free practice session on a new set, so that's 1 set gone. And then it's up to you what you do with the other 2. And actually, we saw that Dorian Pan, last time out in Shanghai, she actually saved a set for race 2, which is where they would line up in race 2 is our fastest qualifying time. Of course, race 1 is top 8 reverse. So, and interesting to see what the drivers will do with their tyres this weekend. But looking like Campos are sitting it out, and there was Alicia, who was our first race winner of the year, winning the reverse grid race in Shanghai.
She did a really great job, didn't she? We saw her for just 1 race last season. Ella Lloyd leading us down. Carrie Schreiner, a winner in F1 Academy, now with a new role at Sauber. We saw her in that livery last year. Carrie, great to have you with us again in commentary. This is going to be a different challenge for the drivers. You spoke to us a little bit about this in practice. Just remind the viewers the different challenge that Ella Lloyd will be facing now as she goes into turn 1 in this qualifying session compared to what we have in practice, because conditions are very different out there.
Yeah, it's cooler, you have new tires, you can brake later. It's just a completely different driving style, and also strategy is important. How much warm-up laps you use, if you pit, if you do the pressures again. But yeah, it's just interesting to see what the teams are doing from the outside now.
It is, and Ella Lloyd, we pick up there, Alice, just looks to be taking us down to the hairpin, and she will set the first respective lap for us.
She will. So majority of the drivers out on track. Of course, apart from, we saw the Campos cars, looks like the Prema cars have decided to go back into the pits, but the track's so different from when they were out earlier on this morning, and we've had a couple of free practice sessions from Formula 1, we've had a qualifying session for Formula 2, so the track's cleaned up quite a lot, but not just that. The track temperature is nearly 30 degrees cooler, where they're racing under the lights, which is a great experience for all of these drivers that are out on track. But a lot of them are sitting, waiting. Ella Lloyd is not doing that at the moment. She's getting in, dialed in as a lock-up for that outside right tyre as she goes through 22, and that's been a corner that's not just been catching these F1 Academy drivers out in free practice, but we've also seen it's been catching a few of the F1 drivers out as well.
It has. We've seen lots of drivers running wide there in Formula 2 as well. Gaidman, Pan, Houseman into pit lane. So currently 6 drivers just sat in pit lane, but Ella Lloyd, the McLaren Junior, big lock-up into the final corner there, Alice.
We've seen lots of lockups there too from the F1 drivers, and she got on that paint on the outside there. Maybe it's still a little bit of dust settled on the outside. I'm just trying to look. There's a bit of a headwind there, so it shouldn't be massively affecting their braking. It's not that they're going to be approaching a massive speed difference compared to where they were earlier on. But we'll catch a replay here of is this going to be a fight for track space, or is that Courtney Crone flying up on those curbs? And I think that's also what happened to Nina when she hurt her back at testing here. She just got up on that curb and then it sent her into the wall. So something the drivers have really got to be aware of. I think you need to make the decision quite quickly whether you're going to risk hoping to make it round the corner, or of course they've got that runoff there that they can just skate across. But of course, if they use that runoff, that lap time is deleted.
Ella Lloyd, big lock up there. Emma Felbermeyer second, 2:06.5. Nevertheless, is the quickest time, but Maya Berg will now go out, and if she can get a clean lap here, I think we're going to see a change at the top, because it wasn't the cleanest of runs for Ella Lloyd at the end, and we are seeing Maya Berg going quicker. We're seeing some times deleted as well. Leah Block, the first victim of that. She currently now has no time on the board. That will be for track limits. Maya Berg taking us through this second sector, and she has been very quick so far this season. Let's see what she can do on this flying lap. Can she get herself to the top? We still have drivers now just making their way out of pit lane, so they have waited a little bit. Maya Berg has also been waiting, but she's looking very quick now, Alice.
So strong in that middle sector, and she has been. That's been her strongest sectors really over free practice, was that middle one, and particularly the final sector where she almost was trumping the rest of the field pretty much in that final section. Let's hear from Block.
Feels like I have less grip than free practice.
So Leah's clearly not settled in her ART Williams-backed machine at the moment. But Maya Berg, she certainly looks much more at home compared to Leah. And actually, it just seems like that Maya's just got a lot more confidence. Seems a lot happier going into this season. Obviously, she's made the switch of teams from Prema over to MP. We've got a yellow flag in the final sector, so I'm guessing that's someone that's had an excursion down at turn 27.
Oh, and Leah Block was just talking about how she felt she had less grip, and she is off into the barriers at the final corner, and that is a red flag. The clock will be stopped at 23 minutes exactly. Leah Block off at the final corner into the barriers. She's reporting she is okay, which is the main thing out of all of this. And that's a shame. That brings an end to Leah Block's session. She didn't take part in qualifying at round 1 after an incident she had in free practice with Rafaela Ferreira, and she's going to take no further part in this qualifying session. So similar to round 1, Alice, she's going to have to go from the back.
I mean, that's massive frustration for her, because she had a good result. She was looking a bit more at home in free practice, wasn't she? She finished P5 and was briefly running in the top 3 for a while. But that's similar, if anyone did watch the previous free practice session from Formula 1, similar to Yuki Tsunoda. That's where he ended up. I wonder if she clipped. Oh no, so she's had a lock-up really late on.
What happened? Just hit the inside barely and it shot me.
So that is exactly the same as what Yuki Tsunoda did.
Yeah.
Just clipped that inside, had broken the front left suspension, and she's then shot into the barrier. You can see on the steering wheel there She's got the red flag notice from the FIA systems that all carbs get on the dash throughout Formula 4 championships, Formula 3, Formula 2 and up to Formula 1 as well.
Yeah, you can see the front left suspension folded in, and as you mentioned, Alice, just clipping that going into the corner. We saw it in Formula 1, we saw Yuki Tsunoda get caught out exactly the same way. Once she's committed to that line, I guess you're committed going in, and it's so easy for that to happen.
It is. She's just turned in slightly too early. Maybe it expected me. Well, she was complaining of lack of grip. That's potentially why she's probably turned in, not feeling like she's had the bite of the front end throughout the entire lap, and then possibly got down to turn 27 and just anticipated some understeer, turned in, and not quite been quick enough to turn out of it when it's when the front has bitten earlier than she anticipated. So that brings out, with 23 minutes of the session left to go, of course, unlike free practice, the time will come to a stop. You can see all the mechanics sticking their arm up. It's tough for the drivers when they go through and you see a sea of mechanics, and you're almost looking, you'll know which F1 garage you're outside of, so you're going down pit lane roughly knowing, but that's why you're seeing all the mechanics with their arms out, waving. But Maya Berg just managed to sneak in a lap time, so that's a little bit of pressure now on these drivers, Chris and Carrie, isn't it, to try and get back out on a new set of tyres, which I expect everybody will change onto if they haven't already, and then set a lap time. But there's quite a few of them have not set a lap time at all.
Yeah, and we will get the thoughts of Carrie Schreiner on exactly that in just a second. Let's first hear from Alicia Parmovsky, who we spoke to about the heat of the Jeddah conditions. We can see how this has affected Leah Block. She not happy at all. She had to go from the back of the grid at China, and devastated is Leah Block, because I think sinking in that she's going to have to go from the back of the grid once again here at round 2. So easy to make just that small mistake going into the final corner, but the consequence we can see now that her car is being towed away, and she's got a massive task on her hands. Once again, she did very well, it must be said, at China, but this is not the uphill battle she would have thought she would be facing at both the first couple of rounds coming into this F1 Academy Series season. And there we see her car being taken away, Alice.
They've had that huge gap, as we already touched on, and then this is going to make it even worse. They've had all that waiting around, and for her to not really get a shot through to that very small area. You can see Susie Wolf checking in with the ART team just to make sure that she's okay, which thankfully for her she is. She'll just be extremely disappointed and very frustrated. A driver that's full of character around the paddock is Leah, and also extremely determined to do well. But it's nice to see Susie checking in to make sure that everyone at ART are doing okay, especially Leah.
It certainly is. Carrie, when we get a situation like this in qualifying, tell us, how is it as a driver when you're coming in, sat there like Maya Berg is now? What is it that's going through your mind? What are the discussions you're having with your engineer?
Yeah, it's never ideal if they stop in qualifying session, because you get interrupted in doing your laps, and it's not the best situation, but you have to you just have to relax and calm down and try again if it's green. So you cannot change the situation, you just have to continue.
Certainly is very tough. Good to see Tom Christensen is here. Let's have a watch back at this again, Alice.
Yeah, so we didn't see, she's already turned in, clipped the inside wall, and you're just a passenger then, and you can see the marshals doing a great job of doing the cleanup nice and quickly. You can see straight away they're down there and checking everything out. She's shaking the head, disappointment, clearing her off track. But same happened with Yuki Tsunoda, as we've made a mention already. So Aurelia Nobles has decided she wants a little bit of a setup change on her ART Puma-backed machine. So funny bit of adjustment, but as Carrie was saying, really got to try and reset and it's hot when you're sat there. All the heat soaked from the engine. Temperature in the cockpit will be way over 50 degrees, and you've got to remember they've got all the Nomex fireproofs on, your helmet. There's no flow of energy. I actually think, and I don't know, I wonder what Carrie's thoughts are on this, but when you're out on track, actually you don't feel the heat as much. It's when you stop, I find that's always worse.
Yeah, that's the worst situation if you come back from a few laps and you sweat and then suddenly you stop and all the heat comes into your cockpit. I mean, they have their fans to cool you a little bit, but it's the worst situation.
Very tough. And then knowing you've got to get back out there, how do you then reset at this point, Carrie, when you see the lights go green again? You've come back in, you had that run plan, now you have to get back in the mode of going out to set a lap.
Yeah, just push. It's the same for everyone. Just go out, do your warm-up, and then give everything. I mean, that's all you can do.
Oh, and we saw there just how easy it is to make a mistake around this lap. You've done qualifying laps around here at Jeddah. How tough is the challenge of doing laps around this circuit? We've just seen how easy it is for your qualifying session to end here. Tell us how tough the challenge is doing F1 Academy around here.
Yeah, I mean, Leah was mentioning that the car is driving different than in free practice, so the mechanics know, or the team knows what to do. They do some setup adaptation because it's cooler and the situation is different, but you cannot predict everything. You can jump in the car and suddenly it feels completely different, and it's not easy for a driver to adapt so quickly if you feel not safe in the car. So yeah, mistakes happen so easily then.
And possibly a consequence there. We heard Leah saying that the car just felt completely different, and then all of a sudden her qualifying has come to an end. But we're now back at full speed for qualifying, getting ready for those warm-up laps, and we can just see the drivers getting back up to speed. Emma Felbermeyer on our screen, just in at this pack, and now we get ready for those push laps once again, Alice.
I can see what Emma's trying to do here. She's like, well, Maya's there. A couple of cars in front. I want to tuck in behind her, but Rafaela Ferreira's thought, no, hang on a second. I want to do that as well. So Emma's decided, well, I'll give up on that one and backed off to give herself a bit of free air. And if you can grab a toe, of course, down the long front straight, through the section out through from 10 till 13, and then of course they make their run from 13 all the way through up to 22. That will make a big difference to your time, to your lap time. You don't want to get too close, of course, because it can affect the error of the car. But I will expect we're not going to see too many fast laps right now. I would expect some of the drivers still trying to get their tyres up to temperature. And Alicia Pomowski, clearly those rears aren't working as she'd like. She just tries to turn it into turn one. The rear says no, misses the apex of one, and then she's too far to the right-hand side for the entry of two. But it's looking quite a handful at the moment, that Campos.
Yeah, almost had to take a step back there. Alicia Palmowski looked like she was heading straight into the barriers at one stage, but just on the limit once again there. Alicia Palmowski coming through 8 and 9.
You think through that section, a Formula One car is absolutely flat out. They've got more power, more aero, more downforce, bigger tyres. Of course, these F4 cars, F1 Academy cars, they're constantly fighting at the wheel, as you can see. She set a personal best. That's because she hasn't set a lap time as yet. Ella Lloyd, though, she's out in front in clear air. She's just gone fastest of anybody in the first sector. A driver here that never left the top 5 during testing, and had Abby Pulling, obviously the 2024 F1 Academy champion, out with her a couple of weeks ago, passing her on her advice and coaching Ella. And at the moment, it seems to be paying off in these early stages of qualifying.
This is looking good for Ella Lloyd to try and challenge Maya Berg, who set the benchmark with a 205.827. Can Ella Lloyd go and get a first pole position for McLaren here around the streets of Jeddah? Wants to become the first podium finisher for McLaren. Can she get that started with the first pole position? Down towards the final corner she goes, sets that up very nicely for a good run down the start-finish straight. Ella Lloyd making her way down the start-finish straight now. This looks like a good run for her. Watch the time in the middle of your screen. There it goes, almost 1.5 tenths clear, and Ella Lloyd is in provisional pole, but will she stay there? Yes. Alicia Parmovsky, P3, and now Maya Berg in the Ferrari comes up to the line, and she goes to the top with a 2:05.635. It's very close. Emma Felbermeyer briefly in third. She's now fifth. As Alba Larsen, she struggled in practice, Alice, but now she's in P3.
She is, and that middle sector from Maya Berg is so strong compared to everybody else. Just need to try and work on those that first and second sector. There's our wildcard driver clearly getting to grips with life in F1 Academy. She won the Saudi Arabian karting championship back in 2022. Farah Al Yusuf, the 22-year-old, so great to see her back out on track, and of course learning as much as possible and adapting to the quite tough conditions that they have out there at the moment.
It's Rima Jafali here as the wildcard last year, just missed out on points. Let's see if Farah Al Yusuf can go and get herself some points this weekend. Whatever she does, it's a great experience for her to be here this weekend. She heads up to the line, Farah Al Yusuf, and it gets a time on the board now, and it is still Berg leading the way so far. Dorian Pan is a little bit away from where we'd expect her, and a little lock up there down to turn one, Alice.
Yes, again, they're all struggling for grip at the moment out there, but one thing to note actually, and I did question whether I should mention it at the time, but Ella Lloyd didn't look like she crossed that pit entry line, which you're not meant to do. So
yeah.
Nothing's come up on our timing screen at the moment, so we'll keep you in check with that. But times are tumbling at the moment. Chloe Chambers fastest of anyone in the first sector, but Maya Berg has gone even quicker again in that mid-sector. This is crunch time for everybody. You've got to keep it neat and tidy. Still 15 minutes approaching anyway of the session remaining. So there's still plenty of time for them to improve, but the tyre life starts to decrease.
Alicia Parmovsky to the top of the times, but only for a few seconds, because her teammate Chloe Chambers now goes to the top, 2:05.1. Now, we haven't seen much of Dorian Pan in this session. Alba Larsen to the front row. Dorian Pan is going to go into the pit lane, so Alba Larsen provisionally will stay there. It's Chloe Chambers leading ahead of Alba Larsen, Alicia Parmovsky, Maya Berg, Ella Lloyd, Chloe Chong, Emma Felbermeyer, Dorian Pan. Right now would be on the reverse grid pole. Let's quickly get the thoughts of Carrie Schreiner as we see Dorian Pan come in. Close session out there, Carrie. Dorian Pan down in 8th, just ahead of her, Emma Felbermeyer, who currently would be on the front row alongside Dorian for that reverse grid race. She's doing a good job, but Chloe Chambers, of course, who was your teammate last year, she's doing a really good job out front.
Yeah, Chloe is a strong driver. She already had really good moments last year, winning a race in Barcelona. So yeah, it's good for her to be also here. Quite good.
The times coming in very quickly. We're seeing the sector times drop. Oh, and we're seeing Alba Larsen get very close to the wall. Those cameras highlights, Carrie, just how close you have to get to the wall. How hard is it to do that lap on lap in a qualifying session?
It's really, really tough to be not too close, but you have to be as close as possible to use the full line, to use the momentum from entry to exit. So yeah, it's really tough for a driver.
And on this lap, Alba Larsen, I think, Alice, we might see challenging that time of Chloe Chambers.
Yeah, she's looking pretty strong in the first and second sector. It's whether she's going to take the dive into the pits. So a lot of the drivers electing to come in, have a little bit of reset, have a bit of a chat, shake on some water, but more importantly, put on a new set of these Pirelli slick tyres. Chloe Chambers just improved once again, and as expected, Alba Larsen is diving into the pits, as quite a majority of them. I think it was Emma Felbermeyer, yep, it was, who's taken into the pit lane as well. But Chloe Chambers is still out there, made an improvement in the final sector, was fastest of anybody. And we're getting to the sort of times and territory of lap time that we saw when they were here in free practice. It was Alicia Parmovsky that went fastest overall time-wise in the test. So we're getting into that, but I expect when they do bolt on a brand new set of slicks, if they haven't already, we're going to dip into the 2-minute 04s.
Rafaela Ferreira, 7th. Dorian Pan currently is out of the top 8, and that is critical for this session. Dorian Pan not currently in the top 8. Aurelia Nobel's very close to the wall there. Up to the line she goes. Aurelia Nobels takes us to the line, P9. So Dorian Pan, our championship leader, now P10 in this session. Maya Berg, 5 points back from her, is P4. And Alba Larsen, well, she was 3rd last time, once again, P3. And she is doing a very good job. She is in her first full season, and well, in her first season of F1 Academy. And she's getting used to things very quickly in F1 Academy, Alice.
She is, and she really impressed last time out, qualifying 3rd, so she's matching that at the moment. Joanne Giaconte as well. She also impressed. 2 of the youngest drivers on the grid, only 2 days separating them in age, birthday. She was P6 in qualifying back in Shanghai. And I think once you're around that area of sort of P7, P8, P8 of course is reverse grid for our race 1 tomorrow. That'll put you up to pole position. You're then looking, well, you're obviously looking to go higher up, but they're aware, trust me, the drivers are aware. They're around that P8 position. They'll be fairly happy in terms that they then will go to the top. But let's say it was Dorian Pan in P8, I can guarantee she wouldn't be happy at all with that. The points that you can gather for race 2 are full points, whereas for race 1, not as many points, and only go down to P8 for points as well. But Joanne Conte, is she coming in? No, she's continuing her lap, so down in 16th at the moment, promotes her up to P12.
Good time from Joanne Chiconti, and she is right up there in the mix as well. Joanne Chiconti, it's close out there. Maya Berg, who is 2nd in the standings, is currently in P4, half a second back from Chloe Chambers, who is currently our leader in this session, ahead of Alicia Parmovsky, Alba Larsen, Maya Berg, Ella Lloyd, Chloe Chong. Aurelia Nobles now goes to P7, and that puts MF Elbermeyer out of the top 8, meaning Rafaela Ferreira is currently in P8 and has that reverse grid pole. Ella Lloyd is on a hot lap here in P5. Could she challenge Chloe Chambers?
So the later you leave it in this qualifying session, the better the track will be. The temperature's not really dropped, so that stayed roughly the same, but certainly the track will have improved. However, of course, if you leave it too late and there's a late red flag, that can really put you out of position if the session wasn't to restart again, or you didn't have enough time to get round to the start line again. As Ella Lloyd just turning in maybe a fraction too early if she went through into 22 and having to turn out of it again. As a flat all the way around, taking the shortest distance, with Maya Berg kicking up the dust there in free practice, and then pick your braking point, kind of get the car as straight as possible as you hit the brakes into 27, get the car rotated, which she does really nicely, on the throttle, head up all the way out to the edge of the wall, and then try and not cross that pit entry line. We can see how she did it there, but Nina is still in the pits. She set a lap time which is only good enough for 14th at the moment, but of course struggling with that back pain. Ella Lloyd, did she improve? She did fractionally, but it wasn't enough, and Chloe Chambers has improved. She's the first driver to dip into the 204s. There's a bit too much inside curve there at 2 for Ella Lloyd. Chambers
204.9. Parmovsky 2.5 tenths back now, and another moment there for Ella Lloyd.
Yeah, I think this is probably the lap that you need to take a cool now. Ella, let those Pirelli tyres have a bit of a rest and a bit of a reset for yourself. She's got Chloe Chambers in front of her on a cool down lap. So you might see quite a few drivers doing a push and then a cool and then a push again, just to let the temperature drop in those tyres. And again, it also helps you to have a bit of a reset. I think Ella may be still having a push, but she's quite a bit off her best in the first sector, so I'm surprised she's not aborted the lap already.
Talk us through that process, Carrie, of doing a push lap, a cool lap, and a push lap as well. It's just to settle yourself down, settle the tyres down.
Yeah, when the tires overheat, you are not able to improve your lap time, so you need a cool down lap, and then the tires are able to recover, and then you can try again. So it helps you so much during a session like this.
Really does, and it's helped Alicia Palmovsky. She's done that process, Alice, and she's looking good up to the final corner.
She is fastest of anyone in the first sector, very decent, nearly matching Chloe Chambers' middle sector as well. So if she keeps it all together in the final sector, I would expect her to jump to the top of the times. Outlaps for Maya Berg at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on her, Dorian Pan as well, as you can see, and the rest of the Prema cars. So we'll wait for Palmovsky to come across the line. She's going to jump to the top of the times and go even faster.
Let's find out. Up to the line she goes. She just misses out by 0.06 of a second. Alicia Palmovsky, it's a great head-to-head between the two Campos Racing teammates. This is Ella Lloyd. That's the moment she took too much curb through the first corner.
She's turned in a little bit too early, and then that's bounced her over on the curb, and then she's forced to almost take a bit too much curb on the right-hand side for turn 2, and then you can see how much the car's bouncing as we can ride on board again. Is this slightly further on the lap, and you know that as soon as you ride the bottom of the car over those curbs, that's going to fly you in the air. Did she actually do a cool-down lap in the end? I think she did. So she elected to have a cool-down lap in the end.
And that was where she caught a bit of traffic, and we saw her just making her way round. Now we are seeing more sector times come in. Alicia Palmovsky, purple through the first sector. Oh, well, that's a big moment for Ella Lloyd, and we saw that one in real time as well. That's what it looked like in slow-mo. But the sector times are flying in. Maya Berg, Chloe Chong, Ella Lloyd all going quicker, but significantly quicker is Alicia Palmovsky. Let's see first over the line, Maya Berg, because she's done a personal best sector 1, a personal best sector 2. To a reminder, you need to be in the top 8 to be within that reverse grid for race 1. Maya Berg is within that, she's 5th, but she'll want to be P1. Up to the line she goes now. Maya Berg, can she add to that pole position she got at the first round? 3rd place for the time being.
That first sector from Alicia is hugely impressive. She's at least 2.5 tenths quicker than anybody else out on track. Her personal best in the mid sector, but this final sector just seems to be a little bit of her weakness, whether she's not got the car quite dialed in for this final sector, or the tyre life has run out by the time she gets there. But wow, jumps up into P1, just over 1/10 of a second, but again, she's not in the 39, so Larson actually is fastest of anybody in that final sector, and she's done a 39, and Chloe Chambers, as I say, that done a 39.6. So Chloe Chambers, compared to Alicia, is 3/10 quicker than her in that final sector. Let's wait for Dorian Pan, Chris.
This looks good from Dorian Pan as well. She is P11. This will be a big jump, and she jumps all the way to pole position. Dorian Pan, 204.816. Where did that come from? Dorian Pan had been struggling all session, and now she's just jumped all the way to the top of the times. There's less than 1/10 of a second between the top 3, but I feel we're going to see a response here, and is it going to come first from Maya Berg, Alex?
She's done such a good first sector. She's nearly matched Alicia Palmovsky's first sector. Let's see what she does in the middle. She's been pretty strong. Chloe Chambers has just set another best in the first sector. Because she keep it on track, Maya? Just about. So that's going to affect her. That's the entry of sector 3. So she's gone fastest of anyone in the mid sector. But I would expect that's going to lose her time. She's been late to throttle, and that carries you all the way down through to turn 27, but time's running out.
We've got another battle going on for P8 as well, which is being led by Houseman. Gaidman has just brought herself into contention for that. Don't count out Larson for pole position either. She is fighting away for this. Berg, now we saw that mistake. Will that affect her chances of taking provisional pole position? Yes, it will. She goes to P4. She'll have to go again. Chloe Chambers is travelling very, very quickly, but so is Alba Larson. Can she pull a great result out here? She's currently in P5, the Tommy Hilfiger back driver. Let's see if this car can make its way all the way to the top of the times. Up to the line she goes. Guess where it is? It's, of course, P3 for Alba Larson, and the fastest last sector, but Chloe Chambers has a tow down the start-finish straight on Ella Lloyd. Where will these two end up? Ella Lloyd 7th. Thank you very much, says Chloe Chambers. She's going to go to provisional pole position, 2:04.320. Right place, right time.
That's a nice cheeky toe. She managed to grab one from Ella Lloyd, but that's Dorian Pan just not quite enough. Missing a couple of tenths in that final sector. Could that be that toe that made all the difference down in that last sector? But times are tumbling. This order, certainly from that mid-pack, is definitely going to change. We've got Agnostiadis down in 16th, the Tag Heuer back driver racing with High-Tech, new to the championship this year. She's going to come out the final corner again, making big improvements. She'll hope to boost her chances of moving closer up towards the top 10.
Carrie, I want to get your thoughts there. How does it feel when you just manage to get in the right place at the right time like that? For Chloe Chambers, just managed to get a really good toe down the start-finish straight there.
To have perfect toe, it's like, yeah, it's so, yeah, something special, because normally you are too close and then your lap is ruined anyway because of the dirty air. But if you get it at the right time, then you gain so much at the straights. So yeah, you can see it at her lap time. It's, yeah, it's amazing for her. Good lap.
And even on a track like this, it just shows how, I guess, placing, oh, big moment there for Palmovsky, and she's going to go over the curb and will abort this lap now. Alicia Palmovsky. We've got a great head-to-head going on here for pole position. We can see just how much the gaps have extended. Chloe Chambers, look how much that has changed things though. Chloe Chambers, it was once, Carrie, just a few hundredths. Now she's got a gap of 0.8 of a second. So the difference made there was huge, wasn't it, with that toe?
Yeah, it was so close for the last couple of minutes, and suddenly the gap is, yeah, quite big. So yeah, you can see what a difference it makes. And it's, yeah, for Alicia, it's difficult without a toe to gain that time now.
On board we are with Alicia Palmovsky into turn one. This will probably be her final chance, Alice, to take pole.
It will. Any driver that crosses the line now, this is going to be their final lap. So you can see she made that mistake. She backed out slightly going into the final sector. Is this going to be a replay of it? She's always, that rear's looked loose on her car the entire time. And actually, I winced in my chair when I saw her fly and not abandon and fly over that curb. So luckily for her, at least nothing visibly is looking damaged. But we're going on these final laps. I noticed that Maya Berg had a really, really slow cool lap, so she's just gone through the first sector, but it's not a personal best. It's nearly matching at least her best. Alba Larson, she's currently in 4th place. She's just gone through the first sector, but it's a couple of tenths off what she was doing earlier on in the session.
No major improvements so far through the first sector, but we've still got that battle for 8th place. Nina Gaidman, 9th, so she's just shy of an 8th place. She is doing a superb job out there. Just now needs to find 0.2 of a second. We're yet to see any improvements through the first sector, but you can make a lot up through this second sector and the third one as well.
Watch out, Dorian Pan. She sent a decent, it's not a personal best, but it's still a good first sector. Let's have a look from Maya Berg. That's not a personal best, but a good first, a good middle. She's going to get a bit of a tow as well from the car in front of her. Let's see how this final sector's going to do.
Maya Berg up to the line is P6 for now, P3. And as you said, Alice, got a good run through the final sector. That's enough to put her on the second row. Can anyone get a run like we saw Chloe Chambers did down that start-finish straight? We jump on board now with Ella Lloyd to the final corner.
So she's currently, as we've already said, in that P8 position. Each driver will want to improve, but if you qualify P8 and there's nothing more you could have done, at least you know you're on pole for race 1, which takes place tomorrow afternoon. She's hitting all the gears correctly. She's got Joanne Conte just behind her, whereas it's going to boost Ella up, personal best in the middle sector.
Ella Lloyd up to the line, P8 for now. She goes to P7, and we've got Joanne Conte 11th. Nicole Havrida is coming to the line next. Dorian Pan is there, she stays P2. There is Rafaela Ferreira to the line 13th. Here is Havrida now 15th. So no major changes at the top, no changes in the top 8, and that will be pole position for Chloe Chambers, who comes across the line to take her first F1 Academy pole position. A well done to Chloe Chambers, 204.320. She put in all the hard work and then was rewarded with that toe down the start-finish straight, and that gave her a significant gap over the likes of Maya Berg and Alicia Parmovsky, and for the first time she will lead us away from the front of the field.
You are on pole. You are on pole for the Sunday.
It's confirmed, for real.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. That's what I like to hear. You kind of scared me a little bit saying a P8 at first. I was like, what? Thought I was reading the boards wrong.
I was trying to scare you. Nice job, Chloe. Nice job. That was amazing.
Yeah, thank you guys. Car was so good. It was so fast.
Real solid job for Chloe. I mean, we saw real flashes of brilliant pace from her last year and getting her first pole position in F1 Academy. And it'll be Emma Felbermeyer. It'll be actually an all-road in motorsport front row. Emma Felbermeyer will be starting on pole position for our race 1 tomorrow alongside Ella Lloyd. Nina Gaidman wasn't quite able to improve to jump up into the top 8, but you must be really happy, Carrie, for Emma. What sort of advice, if you can share with us, of course, would you be giving to Emma when she's on the grid tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm really happy for Emma. It's her first pole position now. I think last time she was second, so she has some experience in the front row now. So it's just important to stay calm. She knows what to do, and yeah, finish the race.
Emma Felbermeyer, let's see what she can do from that front row. It's going to be a great experience for her. As you mentioned, she's now got that experience, and that'll help her a huge amount coming into this event to try and progress forward and try and get some more points on the board.
Exactly. Yeah, just drive a solid race, do no mistakes. Yeah, find your speed and try to finish at least on the podium, or even better, win.
Exactly. Great advice. And great job by Nina. She snuck herself into the top 10 there, right at the very end. She'll be hoping that she'll be starting to feel a little bit better tomorrow. Have a hot bath, which of course is never going to be nice in these warm conditions, just to ease the back up. And I was just watching Maya Berg's body language, if you can say there's body language in the race car. I think she looks pretty disappointed with that. She looked really strong in testing, topping a couple of the sessions. And of course, I think she was looking to really challenge Chloe Chambers until, of course, she had that lock-up, which really hampered her final sector. So it's going to be an exciting race tomorrow, but it's just going to be as exciting when we have that top 3 lining up there. Top 4, 5, you can carry on going down or challenging for the win on Sunday.
Certainly is. And Carrie, we've really enjoyed having your insights. Of course, you announced recently you're going to be racing in GT Masters this year in an Audi. You're going to start next month at Lautz's Ring. How excited are you for that before you leave us in commentary for the weekend?
I'm super excited because, as I already mentioned in the first session, I think I've learned a lot during the last 2 years in F1 Academy. So I'm a better driver now, and I really want to show this year. So I'm looking forward to my first race there.
We wish you all the best as well. I know that F1 Academy has given you a lot of great experience, and thank you very much for joining us up here in commentary as well. We hope to have you back at some point.
Thank you.
Now as an ambassador as well for Sauber, a brand ambassador, so thanks very much to Carrie. Great session on track as well, Alice. Chloe Chambers, Dorian Pan, Maya Berg, Alicia Parmovsky, the fronty rows. It was a great head-to-head out there in front, a great four-way battle almost. Alba Larsen played a part there as well.
Alba Larsen, solid job, and you could say our real rookie, of course, because Alicia took part in the Qatar weekend. So another solid job for her, as they'll go back to their engineers. They'll get data. The pole data also gets shared with all teams. So Chloe Chambers' data will be shared throughout the paddock for all the drivers to see.
It certainly will, and I'm sure they'll see a very good run down that straight, but she put the hard work in all the way around the lap, and that is why she has been rewarded with her first F1 Academy pole position. Congratulations, Chloe Chambers, 2:04.320. That is a brilliant result for her and the Campos team, who haven't been on pole since 2023. That's just their second pole position in F1 Academy. Dorian Pan in second, Maya Berg in third, Alicia Palmowski fourth. Then we had Alba Larsen, Tina Hausmann, Ella Lloyd, Emma Felbermeyer will be on pole position for race one tomorrow. And then behind that was Gateman. Well done to her, one of the standout drivers of the session. Chong, Chiconte, Nobels, Ferreira. Happy birthday to her. Krohn, Havrada, Anagnostiades, Al Yusuf in her first session. Leah Block crashed at the final corner, clipping the inside left wheel, sending her into the barriers. Like round one, she'll go from the back in both races. And that concludes qualifying. Do join us for the reverse grid race one, which will go live tomorrow at 3:20 local time. We'll see you then.